Greetings everyone, Slizzle466 here, and in today's video we're looking at some of the best wild meta decks since the release of the Onyxia's Lair mini set. Now, not all these decks run Onyxia's Lair cards, but they're decks that are very strong in the current meta. We start with Aggro Demon Hunter. So this is a list you may not have seen. So it is, as you can see, it's quite aggressive. It's got your Drekthar in here, and you typically run Drekthar in aggressive decks. You've got the Glide, which is nice to mess with your opponent's hand, especially if they're a Mecha'thun or an Owl Warlock and they're getting ready to combo. And then you got Curtis Demon Render. So basically, because you are generating out a lot of minions that are attacking, you can play the hero power multiple times and do quite a lot of damage. It's a much better deck in standard, but in wild it is probably your best bet if you want to play Demon Hunter. Moving to Druid, we have Mecha'thun Druid. So I personally like the Mecha'thun Druid lists that run the Kasaka-san. It's just a nice backup plan if for some reason you get one of the Mecha'thun pieces milled, or the Mecha'thun the Shattered gets dirty ratted or mutinous, and plus Kasaka-san is just a fun card. I also really like the combo of Twig and Sphere of Sapience to generate a whole bunch of mana, whether it's before or after you play Guff. So I just really like this build. Moving to Hunter, we've got Questline Hunter, arguably one of the strongest decks that's popped up in the latest meta, and that's because of two new cards that Hunter got. You've got your Dragonbane Shot, deal 2 damage, honorable kill, add a Dragonbane Shot to your hand. So because you're trying to deal damage to progress your quest lines, this is incredible. And you've also got Furious Howl, draw a card, repeat until you have at least 3 cards, giving the deck more refill. This is much better than Odd Questline Hunter. Odd Questline Hunter kind of died out from the rapid fire nerf. If you want to play Questline Hunter, this is one of the best ways to do it. Another Hunter deck to consider is Even Hunter. So Even Secret Hunter, again, very aggressive. You can cheat out the secrets using cards like Phase Stalker, for example, Mad Scientist. And you basically just overwhelm your opponent with secrets, pinging away with your 1 mana hero power as you go, sometimes making it cheaper, sometimes triggering it multiple times. Is that being run in here? Yeah, there it is. Garrison Commander. Pulling out cheap minions. Just a very solid, aggressive list. There are no Mage decks, shockingly. I know Reno Mage is fun, but there are so many random varieties, there isn't really a best one. They're just all kind of average. So we jump over to Paladin. Shockingly, I've only got one list here. It's Reno Paladin. So a hand buff Paladin is a good deck, but the Reno version just helps you survive a little bit better against aggro or against decks that are just easily clearing out your boards. So this is hand buff Paladin in Reno form. It's been pretty well teched. Again, there are multiple lists that are out there floating around, but I do like the heavy end on this list. It's kind of fun. Skulking Geist is great against a lot of the Warlock and Druid archetypes out there. The Templar Captain is pretty greedy, but keep in mind that, especially against Shamans, the Shamans are just throwing out dirty rats like there are no tomorrow, so pulling out a Templar Captain, pulling out any of these big things here, even if you lose the Battlecry effects, it's just a big minion getting pulled off the dirty rat, which is great. And of course, Nosdormu the Timeless lets you cheat these out earlier. So again, kind of a heavy top end, but the Nosdormu really helps get that ball rolling. Moving to Priest, we have Aggro Priest. Different variations that are floating around. Some builds are running the Defias Leper. Some builds are running Galactus Crawler. Some builds are running Leper Gnomes. But the main thing is you whack your opponent a lot in the face. You either win really quickly or you don't. But if you like quick games and you need to play Priest, this is a great way to do it. Another very fast Priest deck is Combo Priest. So Combo Priest has really taken a storm in the wild meta. This specific list, I started playing for fun at Legend and won 5 games in a row. A lot of the time, you don't actually need a minion of your own to win. Most of the time when I play this deck, I make sure I have a couple Fortitudes in my hand. Make sure I have a Divine Spirit and an Inner Fire or a Bless. And then I just Potion of Madness. Sometimes I don't even need to have the Wave of Apathy. I discount my hand with Palm Reading a lot of the time. I discount my hand with Radiant Elemental. I've actually taken 1/1 minions with Potion of Madness and slam my opponent for 32 damage. So it's incredible. And those big slams, you can do it quite early in the game. I've done it as early as turn 4. Moving to Rogue. We have Quest Rogue. Quest Rogue again, another really fast deck. Very, very effective. It is a little weak to aggro, so aggro can really knock it down before it gets the whole quest caverns rolling. Crystal Core rolling. But Ram Command is insane. I like the Blade Master Samaru. It's a nice tech just to give you a bit of board clear, especially if you're playing it as a 5/5. So yeah, Quest Rogue, really fast, very strong. Another very strong deck but difficult to play is Pillager Rogue. You may have been on the receiving end of the combo. If you know what you're doing, you can kill your opponent. Like if you can stick the Spirit of the Shark on turn 4, if you know what you're doing, you can just kill him on turn 5. It's a technically challenging deck to play and not one that I am particularly good at. But if it's something you want to consider learning, by all means, give this one a try. Moving to Shaman. We've got free Shaman. So free Shaman was strong before Onyxia's Lair. It's strong right now. I don't believe this list is running any new cards, but I do really like the Skulking Geist. I should have mentioned earlier, Skulking Geist is also great against Questline Hunter. It just stops them in their tracks. So Skulking Geist is great. But yeah, you clear the board with the Toxfin Flurgle. You freeze them out with the Guardian. You make them not be able to play spells with Lower Theb. And then you play Shudderwalk and they just can't do anything and they usually just give up. It's a great list. A Burn Shaman. Again, Burn Shaman, there were many different versions I could have chosen here. Some people also refer to this as Overload Shaman. So I personally like the Burn version because I just like aiming things at my opponent's face. But there are also versions that run the quest line. There are versions that run Giants instead. Again, this is just my personal preference. I just really like this list myself. I like playing Overdraft and smacking my opponent in the face for a lot of damage. But also the Brucan of the Elements is some nice value if you haven't killed your opponent by the mid-game. But again, you kind of got your Shaman staples. You got the Toxfin Flurgle. You've got the Snowfall Guardian. You got the Brilliant Macaw. So just another nice variant of Aggro Shaman to try out. And now the long list of Warlock decks. We're going to go quickly through these because there aren't too many surprises. Even Warlock. I find that whenever I want to play the best Even Warlock deck, I just go to Ghost Dogs lists. I've tried other ones in the past. They just never stack up. Ghost Dogs lists are the best. Just go net deck in. Easy. Even Reno Lock. I always underestimate this when I play it, but then I play it and I win. It does just feel like playing Reno Lock, to be honest. The games do last much, much longer because Even Lock is designed as an aggro deck, whereas this is designed as a control deck. So, I have my games go 10, 15, 20 minutes with this list. This is a particularly greedy list. You got the Nazoth and the Blood Reaver Gul'dan and the Arch Willow. But it's really fun. I don't think Reno Warlock stands much of a chance right now, so this is kind of your next best thing. Mecha'thun Warlock. Not much to say here. You've got your standard draw through your deck package that Warlock runs. You've got your Rune Mithril Rod to reduce the cards in your hand. You don't always need the Vol'jin because you can reduce the cards in your hand, so a lot of the time you just go Mecha'thun for 8 or 9, Cataclysm for whatever, 2 or 3, and you win. Of course, make sure your deck's empty. Owl Warlock plays pretty much exactly the same way. As you can see, it's almost the exact same list. The only difference is you've got the Wicked Shipment, you've got the Owls, and you've got the Phylactery, which you need to bring the Owls back. This is quite different to Mecha'thun Warlock, where Mecha'thun doesn't rely on the Phylactery. Mecha'thun runs it in case the Mecha'thun gets dirty ratted. If the Mecha'thun gets Mutinist, you're done. But basically, they're very similar lists. Darkglare Warlock, it's still going strong. Some people don't actually run the Darkglare, which means it would be Giants Warlock. But I got into Darkglare in the late game, kind of on the later end of things before it got nerfed again. But it's a pretty solid list. Giants get out early, Battleground Master, Antheron. Darkglare helps you draw through your deck really fast. Even as a 3-mana 3/4, it's still fine. So if you still want to play Darkglare, by all means, nothing's stopping you. And last but not least, Pirate Warrior. It's Pirate Warrior. This is my build that I like to use. It's 1 or 2 cards off what everyone else does, but I just like running Loetheb. A lot of the time I don't even complete the quest line. I just like to get the Ankar. I like the cannon shots. I like bashing my opponent a lot. And a lot of the time I'll have a choice between Loetheb and Rakara. And a lot of the time I just play Loetheb. It's fine. So there you go. 17 decks for you to play around with. If you want to climb the ladder with some of the best meta decks, you'll find all the deck codes in the description below. If you want to help support this channel, you can click the subscribe button, click the notification bell. Got a new quest. If you're a mobile user and it's difficult for you to copy those deck codes, in the description below, there's an easy to enter link to my Discord. Visit the deck lists only channel, and it's much more mobile friendly to copy those deck lists. Until next time, hope to see you again.